Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of the Beyond Report. Excuse me. We're looking at month 3 of SpiderMan Beyond tie-ins, or SpiderMan Beyond and its tie-ins. Kicking things off, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 80.BEY. Okay, so in the beginning of Spider-Man Beyond, Spider-Man and Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Ben Reilly, fought the UFOs at ESU, and while Ben was protected from the radiation being given off by UFOs member X-Ray, due to how his suit is designed by the Beyond Corporation, Peter Parker was not, and he ended up with a severe case. I want to say it was radiation poisoning, but it was basically kind of the radiation that X-Ray was giving off had a bad reaction with the radiation from the spider bite that turned Peter Parker into Spider-Man in the first place. But the doctors were having no luck coming up with a treatment plan, and Peter was comatose. And so issue 80, if I remember correctly, ended with Aunt May calling an old flame of hers, Dr. Otto Octavius, also known as Dr. Octopus. So this follows up on that. May and Otto talk, and she tells him what's going on. They study the scene of the battle, and Otto goes over what he finds, and they manage to find the same radiation elsewhere in the apartment the UFOs were living in, and they then track everything to Infinite Solutions, which appears to be housing the UFOs. But they need to get samples of both X-ray as well as vapor. So Doc Ock goes after X-ray while Aunt May goes after vapor. It takes some doing, but Doc Ock's able to get a sample. May convinces Vapor to give her a sample as well. But Doc Ock decides to do some digging into Infinite Solutions and notes that they are a subsidiary of the Beyond Corporation. Sometime later, May gets a call that from the hospital. Apparently, they came with a treat. They were anonymously given a treatment regimen. And Peter seems to be doing better. However, but May has also opted to sever ties with Otto, and but Otto is bound and determined to discover more about the Beyond Corporation. And yes, this does set the stage for one of the later issues in the we're covering. Another plot point that popped up during the second month was the Beyond Corporation planning to issue a cease and desist order to Miles Morales. After all, they own the intellectual property that is Spider-Man, and so they see Miles as infringing upon their intellectual property. And so they gave him a cease and desist order, he, well, Miles being Miles isn't going to really go for it, but there's a creature on the loose in Brooklyn, and so Ben is sent out to deal with it and told, hey, also do what you can to protect our copyright. If you if or to do what you can to enforce Beyond's trademark if you run into the other Spider-Man. And so Ben goes to Bed-Stuy. Him and Miles do the typical first time two heroes meet, they have to fight thing. Especially seeing how they're using the same code name. But the creature that Ben's been sent after appears, and initially they both try to take it down individually, but eventually realize they have to work together, and they manage to do so. With Miles even telling Ben about the Assessor. Upon returning to the Beyond Tower, however, Maxine Danger, the CEO, is not happy with the fact that no real effort was made on Ben's part to enforce the Beyond Corporation's trademark. And however, it does seem that they took a sample. They have a sample of the creature that Ben and Miles fought, which is where that issue ends. There is also a tie-in in Miles Morales' Spider-Man number 33, which was our next book. Issue 81, Amazing 81, and Miles Morales 33 came out at the same time. So, but it's Spider-Man. It's Miles dealing with. It starts out with Miles dealing with the cease and desist order, and looking into a piece of tech that he got from the clones, or from his recent clones. But Miles gets a shift, and the two of them look into a company called Asset Analysis, dealing with guards, then drones, and they discover that the building is largely a holographic facade. And Miles sees the building as it truly is and asks what it is as the issue ends. Which then brings us to Amazing Spider-Man number 82. So issues 82 and 83 are back to focusing on Peter. Peter is doing better. He's having trouble dealing... In 82, he's cycling through roommates quite a bit, though, because an orderly keeps showing up and takes them away, claiming that they were never there in the first place. And so, said orderly tries to do the same thing to Peter, and but Mary Jane follows, and turns out the orderly is a subterranean creature who feeds on people. MJ manages to stop him by using the flash on her camera phone, and then a whole bunch of discarded surgical lights take him down. But we have a Meanwhile in the Stewards Beneath Manhattan interlude with Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, where they're going after the Lizard. And that is where issue 82 ends. So, which brings us to issue 83 of Amazing Spider-Man. As mentioned, Peter's doing better. Having issues with physical therapy. But he apparently Peter ordered while on painkillers, ordered a Spider-Man suit, a Spider-Man fan box set thing, and got it full. And he goes out for a swing, does the ends up trying to fight some crime, and actually gets beat up in the process, while Cap ends up saving his bacon. But the whole thing is interspersed with flashbacks to Peter's childhood, dealing with Ben and May. But that's what these flashbacks that Peter's having, or what gets him to start doing the work when it comes to physical therapy. As beat up as he is, though. Which then brings us to our last Beyond chapter for the month. Amazing Spider-Man number 84. Now, a quick note. Amazing Spider-Man number 84 did come out last week, this first new comic day of January. But because of Marvel's lineup has been, since the beginning of November, has been running about a week late. So this was intended to come out in December, which is why we're covering it now. The same thing applied to in the Dark Reign event recap when it came to Dark Reign number 2. So yeah. Anyway, so basically, Doc Ock is digging up, trying to get all the info he can on the Beyond Corporation. And while Ben and his girlfriend are on date night, Janine being his girlfriend, Marcus calls Ben into action, explaining that, hey, Doc Ock is one of our sites. Can you do something about it? But there's something specific he's looking for at the location, and as he grabs it, though, Ben shows up. Him and Otto have a bit of a tussle, but Otto is able to escape with his prize by triggering the security systems to go after Spider-Man, overwhelming his spider sense. But while Ben's getting back to the swing of things to take down Otto, however, Otto shows up at Beyond HQ to speak with Maxine Danger. And that is where the issue ends, which wraps up the Beyond story for the month, the Beyond Spider-Man Beyond and its tie-ins for the month of December. We haven't actually had a new another part 11 hasn't popped up yet, nor has a potential 84.BEY, but hopefully this upcoming week, fingers crossed. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.